Okay, cool. So, good afternoon, folks. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Karthikeya Singh, the lead of editorial team from Developers Club NIT Agartala. So, today we are going to discuss the roadmaps regarding the three most sought after technologies in today's day and age. That are machine learning, web development, and of course, mobile development. So, if you are a newbie or if you are someone well versed in some of these fields but want to try your hands on some other field and don't know where to start, the session is for you. So I hope that you are going to take something out of value from this session. And without any further ado, I would like to pass the stage to Atithi for web development's presentation.
Thank you, Karthike. Is my screen visible to all?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So, hello everyone. Welcome to DSC NIT Agartala session. Myself, Atithi Kumar Singh, Web Development Lead of NIT Agartala. And now my team, I will be giving a brief introduction on web development and will give you a roadmap on how to plan your first step in this domain. Now, the first thing that you should learn is front-end. And for this, you should start with a basic markup language such as HTML, have some hands-on experience with it, try to learn and create components such as buttons, forms, and text field. After you get comfortable with HTML, to CSS. Whether without CSS is done, probably no one to visit it. Do it makeover, and we use CSS, and we can also call it the UI part of the web page. Initially, you may find a bit complex to use CSS in web page, but trust me, once you get comfortable with it, it will be hand for you. After that, let's dive into advanced CSS and JavaScript. You should learn some advanced topic of CSS such as CSS grid, box model, and animation. This will help you to make your web page look attractive and more beautiful and user-friendly. After that, you should learn a bit of JavaScript so that you can give the braining part of the web page. For that, you should learn the DOM manipulation, ECMAScript 6 or 2015 ECMAScript, Fetch API or AJAX. What is API and AJAX we will discuss in the later part of this session. We should also try to learn something about local storage. Local storage is something when we try to give data, we show data to the users, we have to reload the page. And we reload the page, we have to again reload the data. So to avoid that, we use local storage so that the data that we have fetched from the API or anything is stored locally on your PC. After that, you should learn work. A framework such as a framework is very popular and it will help us to. Is my screen visible? Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, it's visible.
Yeah, I think there was a network lag. Okay, so there are very much popular frameworks such as React, Vue, or Angular that makes our work easy. We should try to learn any of the frameworks which will make our the React is very much popular and it's created by Facebook. Vue is in popular demand right now and it's a relatively new framework. Angular is developed by Google and it's also very popular. We should also try to learn some JavaScript components such as React Scrap or Material UI. We can also try to learn CSS libraries such as Bootstrap or Materialize CSS, which will make our work a little bit easier for us. Now, the next part that we should learn is the development. I think I'm getting network lag. Is my presentation visible? Yeah, I think it's getting delayed. Sorry for this interruption. Backend development refers to the server side of the development, where we are primarily focused on how the site works. The primary role of a backend development is to ensure it's the direct data service that they are requested without a glitch. Very part of the web because it's very much fundamental. Web page, the website will be it is the user experience part of the web page. And the skills that we need to become a backend development are the web development language such as HTML, JavaScript, CSS, and we should learn about database, servers, and APIs. The API, database, and server will be later covered by Sanchalika in this session. So, hands over to you, Sanchalika.
Thanks, Aditi, for handing out, for passing it over to me. So now I will be walking you through what is a database, what an API is, and a brief overview of Mindstack and also the opportunities of why you should opt web development. So what actually is database? A database is a systematic collection of data. They support electronic storage and manipulation of data. There are various types of databases: relational and NoSQL databases. Aditi, please change the slide. Hello.
Yeah, I can getting a flag slide visible. Can anyone share the screen? I am sharing you the link in the chat box.
You continue.
Use it, okay. Someone please share the screen. I've shared the link.
Okay, I am sharing. Can anyone please share the screen for me? I am also having a power cut.
Akshat, can you share a screen?
Can you see it?
Yes, thank you. So there are various types of databases: relational and NoSQL databases. A relational database is a type of database that stores and provides access to data points that are related to one another. The columns of table hold attributes of the data, and each record usually has a value for each attribute, making it easy to establish the relations among data points. So if we say in simple words, relational databases stores informations in rows and columns, and few examples are MySQL, MariaDB, Oracle, etc. And there also exist NoSQL databases, among which MongoDB, Firebase, Cassandra are quite popular. They can store large amounts of data. So earlier, Atithi have mentioned about the term API. Change the slide, please. So you might be wondering what an API is. So API is an acronym for Application Programming Interface, which is a software intermediary that allows two applications to talk to each other. Each time you use an app like Facebook, send an instant message, or check the weather on your phone, you are using an API. Every time you check the score of a baseball match also, you are making the use of an API. Then we come to Mindstack development. So Mindstack is quite popularly used for full stack development in recent days. So here M stands for MongoDB, E stands for Express, and R stands for React.js, and finally N stands for Node.js. So MongoDB is a database system which I have already discussed earlier, and it is a NoSQL database. Express is a backend framework. It is used for easier creation of web applications and services. Express is a minimal and flexible Node.js web application framework that provides a robust set of features for web and mobile applications. With a myriad of HTTP utility methods, creating a robust API is quick and easy with the help of Express. Coming to the performance of Express, it provides a thin layer of fundamental web application features without obscuring Node.js frameworks. Then we come to React. It is a front-end framework. It is a free and open-source front-end JavaScript library for building user interfaces or UI components. It is maintained by Facebook and a community of individual developers and companies. React can be used as a base in the development of single-page or mobile applications. Coming to Node.js, Node.js brings event-driven programming to web servers, enabling the development of fast web servers in JavaScript. Developers can create scalable servers by using a simplified model of event-driven programming that uses callbacks to signal the completion of a task. So we are almost on the verge of our web development discussions. Change the slide, please. So lastly, you might be wondering why you should learn so many skills for becoming a web developer, right? When you are a newbie to the programming world, web development is the right skill to acquire and which will help you to make a good coder. From developing a server to improve UI UX design, everything will help to improve in your career. Please change the slide. Then it helps us to make responsive websites, which has become an effective online, which is a must-have for effective online presence. Then Facebook, Twitter, Google, and Reddit has also opted for the dark mode UI. The market demand seems to be running steady for jobs that require web development as the only skill. Compared to other jobs, web development still enjoys considerable demand. According to Stack Overflow, 83% of professional web developers of the United States are employed in full-time, with 10% working on a freelance basis. In Stack Worldwide survey of developers, 72% of respondents reported positive job satisfaction. Web developer is one of the 8 best overall tech jobs in the 2018 report. So you must try out web development as your choice. And so we are not taking much longer, and here we are concluding today's web development introduction session, and we would love to help you out. In case of any query, feel free to reach us out at any time. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, web development team, for the presentation. So next, we are going to move to one of the most hyped up fields of development in the recent years. That's right, machine learning. So you might have heard the name, but right now we are going to give you some insights on how to get started in machine learning. So with that, I'd like to hand it over to machine learning lead Arnav. Arnav, please take it.
Sure, Karthik. Let me present first. My screen is visible. Hello,
Yes,
Karthik.
Yes, Arnav. Yes, Arnav. It's visible.
So, hello everyone. My name is Arnav. I'm the lead of machine learning team, DSC NITA Agartala. So today we are going to discuss about machine learning. So what is today's agenda? Today's agenda is introduction to machine learning, basic idea of ML and its prerequisites, roadmap to learn and work with ML, future prospects and opportunities of ML. So here we go, starting with the introduction to machine learning. So what is machine learning? Machine learning is an application of artificial intelligence that involves algorithms and data that automatically analyze and make decision by itself without human intervention. It describes how computers perform tasks on their own by previous experiences, and therefore we can say in machine learning language, artificial intelligence is generated on the basis of experience. So basically, what is machine learning? Machine learning is about predicting the future based on the past. Here you are seeing some input raw data, which are basically called components. There is apple, banana, mangoes. So you can see in the apple, it's round shape. It's almost round shape and its color is red. In banana, it is long in height and is yellow in color. And there is mango, which is orange. So in human, from human mind, we can see this is an apple, this is a banana, this is a mango. But we have to train the machine. We have to learn train the machine, teach the machine. So first, we have to give labels. What is labels? Labels is the color of apple is red. The shape of apple is almost round. So these are the inputs. When we give machine the input, so through the algorithm, machine give these components as a feature. This component a feature that its color is red and it's almost round. And this the name of this component is apple. The name of this component is banana. So after the processing, the model is trained, and if we show the model a picture of apple or a picture of banana, it will identify that thing. So the whole prediction system is called machine learning. So here are some real-time examples of machine learning. Okay, so first is traffic prediction, virtual personal assistant, online transportation, social media services, emails blank filtering, product recommendation, online fraud detection. Okay, so let me give you all a real life example of machine learning. You all guys have used Netflix, YouTube, online video streaming applications. So first day of Netflix, you would like to see some English series or Bollywood movies or K-drama or some animes. So first day you search for them. Second day you search for them. On the third day, you will see the Netflix itself recommending you the things you have been searching for 2 days, like K-dramas, English web series. So behind this, a strong machine learning backend is working. So the whole system of Netflix is predicting what you are liking to watch, what you are watching, and on the basis of your interest, it is predicting your interest and it will show you the recommendations. So this is how the machine learning basically works. So now coming on the topic of artificial intelligence. What is artificial intelligence? Artificial intelligence is the simulation of human intelligence processed by machines, especially computer systems. Specific applications of AI include expert systems, natural language processing, speech recognition, machine vision. We are going to talk about this in next slides. So AI is basically composed of reasoning, learning, high problem solving skills, perceptions, and linguistic intelligence. So you guys might have to ask that is the machine learning and artificial intelligence are same things? No, definitely not. Artificial intelligence is a concept of creating intelligent machines that simulates human behavior, whereas the machine learning is a subset of artificial intelligence that allows machine to learn from the data without being programmed. So I have discussed about the machine learning uses. Here some more like speech recognition, virtual personal assistant, natural language processing. We'll discuss about that in later. Okay, I have to mention about one of my personal projects. Like I made a prediction model of disease prediction system like cancer or malaria, diarrhea. So if you have malaria, so you have to done some tests in a hospital. So the result of tests like your something blood. So if you give your test results to this system, to the machine learning system, so the algorithm works and it will predict if you have cancer or malaria. So this is a very efficient project through machine learning, disease prediction system, one of my personal projects. So here are the programming languages best for machine learning. There is C++, C. Most of nowadays most of guys use Python to do machine learning, but R is one of the most efficient language for machine learning. There is JavaScript, Scala, Java. So here I am going to discuss about the future of machine learning. A humongous amount of data becoming more available today. Machine learning is starting to move to the cloud. Data scientists will no longer explicitly custom code or manage infrastructure. AI and ML will help the system to scale for them, generate new models on the go, and deliver faster and accurate results. So here we are going to discuss about the roadmap of machine learning, how we can learn about machine learning, how about all the processes. So my teammate Barnadeep will take it from here. So Barnadeep, please present.
Thank you, Arnab. So good afternoon, everyone. I am Barnadeep, currently in the pre-final year from Computer Science and Engineering branch, and a volunteer member of machine learning team. So as Arnab have discussed earlier, the basic idea and prerequisites of ML and AI, I'll be diving deep to the roadmap and all possible ways to work with this field of technology. So moving to the next slide. So here is an overview of the topics I will be discussing today. First and foremost, I will be discussing data analysis and modeling. Moving to the next slide. Data analysis. So solving machine learning problems, we firstly need raw data, and we collect the data from multiple resources and web scraping and many more, and then we perform those the exploratory data analysis with those data, which is the process of analyzing and summarizing their particular characteristics with the help of data visualization methods, and we learn the hidden trends from those data. And then we split the data into trained data and test data. The trained data will go into the modeling part, and it will learn the good values for all the weights and the bias from the leveled examples. And the remaining data, that is the test data, we will test them, and we will find out how much they are accurate and precise. And lastly, we will deploy the whole model to a server. So next slide, please. So here is the classification of the machine learning algorithm. So machine learning tasks have been divided into 3 categories depending upon the feedback available. So first one is supervised learning. These are the human-built models based on input and output data. Unsupervised learning, these are the models that depend on human input. No levels are given to them, so the model has to figure them out by itself. And the last one is the reinforcement learning, which these are the models that are fed with human inputs, but again no levels are given to them. The algorithm learns by the rewards and the penalties given to them. So further, supervised learning can be categorized based on the target variable. That is, if the target variable is continuous, then we can perform linear regression, and if the target variable is categorical, then logistic regression, SVM, decision tree, and many more are there. So talking about linear regression, it is the fundamental of all the machine learning algorithms, and in this algorithm we actually establish a relationship between the dependent and independent variable by fitting a best fit line. So moving to the next slide, I will be talking about the deep learning and deep neural network. So next slide, please, Arnab.
Oh, okay.
So deep learning, it is one of the subfield of machine learning, or more precisely the supervised learning and algorithm, which tries to mimic the function of a human brain, working of a neuron, and how a neuron works actually. The neuron computes a linear function z is equal to w dot x plus v, followed by an activation function. And there are a lot of activation function like ReLU, sigmoid, and leaky ReLU, and many more. And the most important step that in a deep learning cycle will play by the back propagation, where we compute the output with the given input and randomly chosen weights, which are later adapted to improve the output. So there are a lot of neural networks along with the deep neural networks. Some of them are convolutional neural network, recurrent neural network, and autoencoders. Moving to the next slide. And so there are a lot of frameworks and libraries available for machine learning and deep learning, and from Python language as well as from R. Some of the important commonly used libraries are scikit-learn and keras. So every supervised machine learning algorithm I have talked about before and has a very possibility of belonging to this scikit-learn library. It is a nice end-to-end framework which enables us to explore data, even process data, and cleaning and finding out the missing values, and also normalize data, and splitting the data into the train test and train test using the train test split of the method of this scikit-learn. And on the other hand, the keras is also an high level framework for deep learning with TensorFlow backend, and it also serves a lot of large data sets, and also uses the NumPy array to train and evaluate the model. For this, it uses the fit function or fit method of the keras, and after testing, and also helps in evaluation and prediction using evaluate and predict method, and can draw conclusion out of it, and also can save the model into some files so that you can use the model in future uses. So moving to the next slide. So image processing. So image processing is one of the application of deep neural network. It is a technique where the machine will analyze the image and process it to give it to the future data. So there are three paradigms of the image processing. First one is image classification. So I'll take an example, like we have a 100 dogs and cats images, and after we apply the deep neural network modeling, we will get those cats and dogs images different, and we do this using convolutional neural network, or also called CNN. And the data we have to level is also done by this, which is called, had mentioned as image leveling, and the last is the region-based convolution. So region-based convolution is used to localize the image processing, and some of its use cases are the recent mass dissection technique done by RCNN, and also like to locate an item in a supermarket, we can use this. So moving to the next slide, I will be talking about some of the courses and resources available in the internet to learn deep learning and ML. So first one comes the Coursera. So in Coursera, deep learning specialization by N2NG is a go-to course. Like, it is a theoretical course with a lot of mathematics and linear algebra will be taught in this, and also it has some assignments which you can practice in Python. And the next one is the Introduction to TensorFlow, and so this is an application-based course based on and it helps us to learn the basic neural network in TensorFlow, and also helps to build in CNN model with the help of keras and TensorFlow. So next one is DataCamp. DataCamp offers some courses with the hand-to-hand exercises and guidance. Some of the courses are, as mentioned here, supervised learning and statistical thinking in Python. And there is the Kaggle. So it is one of the favorite platform for data scientists and ML engineers. It offers a load of public datasets and notebooks, and also offer some free courses for them. And there are also courses available in Udemy and Udacity. So Udacity has a nano degree program in deep learning. And talking about YouTube's, there are a lot of playlists like by Krishnak and Sendex. So there are a lot of ML and DL playlist for them. And to learn basic statistic, you can refer to StateQuest by George Dummer, and there are also AI University and many more there. So next, this is it for me, and next Arnab will talk about the opportunities with the machine learning, and I will hand over to him. So Arnab.
Thank you, Bernadette, for the tremendous explanation of the roadmap about the ML. So now I'm going to discuss about the opportunities with machine learning. So many students recently asking me, भैया क्यों करना चाहिए हमें ML? इसमें job क्या है, future perspectives क्या है, क्या opportunities मिलेंगे हमें? So here I'm going to discuss what are the roles, jobs you are getting after doing ML. So you guys have heard about SD, software developer engineers, and application engineers, data engineer. So here we are going to discuss about the machine learning opportunities. So what is in it for you? Machine learning is very popular as a lot of human efforts and increases machine performance by enabling machines to learn for themselves. Consequently, there are many career paths in machine learning, and that are popular and well paying, such as machine learning engineer, data scientist, and NLP scientist. So the opportunities machine learning. So what guys you have to do? You guys have to do image recognition. There are a lot of images, and you have to recognize what are the images. Advanced customizations, intelligent data analysis, sensor data analysis, optical character recognition, and voice recognition. These things you guys have to do in machine learning domain as a career option or job. So first we are discussing about the domain machine learning engineer. So a machine learning engineer is an engineer that runs various machine learning experiments using programming as Python, Java, Scala, etc. With the appropriate machine learning libraries, some of the major skills required for this are programming, probability, statistics. So you guys have to good in these things like programming, probability, data modeling, machine learning algorithms, system design. So basically, the concept of machine learning engineer is to train models and machines to do higher works, which a human mind can do, but it will be easy for them if machine learns how to do that thing. Second, we are talking about the data scientist. So this is one of the most data scientists do. Data scientist uses advanced analytic technologies, including machine learning and predictive modeling, to collect, analyze, and interpret large amount of data and produce actionable insights. These are then used to make business decisions by company executives. Like let us assume there are so many data. You are going to open a company, so you are first you have to decide what will be the products, what will be the revenue, how you have to generate the revenue. So you have gathered a data of 1,000 company, and you have to collect the data and analyze the data so that you may determine how can you raise a huge amount of revenue. So this is a real life example of data scientist. So machine learning is very important skill for a data scientist, in addition to other skills such as data mining, knowledge of statistical research techniques, etc. Also knowledge of big data platforms and tools such as Hadoop, Pig, Hive, Spark, etc. And programming languages such as SQL, Python, Scala, Perl, etc. are needed by data scientists. Now we are going to the domain of NLP scientist, natural language processing scientist. So what is the work of natural language processing scientist? Well, NLP stands for natural language processing, and it involves giving machines the ability to understand human language. So basically the thing is what human can do nowadays, machine also can do the things. This means the machine can eventually talk with humans in our own language. So an NLP scientist basically helps in the creation of machine that can learn patterns, speech, also translate spoken words into other languages. This means that NLP scientists should be fluent in the syntax, spelling, and grammar of at least one language in addition to machine learning, so that a machine can acquire same skill. So these are the percentage of different machine learning roles like machine learning engineer, data scientist. The software engineers is a little bit high. So this is not in the machine learning domain. So we are comparing with other domains. So software engineers a little bit high, 16%, or as well as same, you can say. Some researcher like data scientist, NLP scientist, product-based managers are with other domains. But the machine learning engineer and data scientist, or you must say researcher and NLP scientist, is, trust me, is one of the most interesting jobs you should get in. So thank you. Here we conclude the machine learning PPT. So thank you, everyone. I'm ending my speech now.
Thank you very much, Arnav and machine learning team, for the amazing presentation. I'm sure after this presentation, many people are going to undertake and become ML enthusiasts. So last but not the least, we are going to move on to mobile development team. Now, mobile development team is going to present how you should go about and developing various apps and various platforms. So, mobile development team, over to you. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much, Karthik. Can you see my screen?
Yes, continue.
Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. My name is Akshat Kumar Verma, and I'm mobile development member at JDSC. And with me is Bharat Sharma, who is the co-lead of JDSC. So today I'll be discussing why should you pick up mobile development in the first place, what are hybrid and native development, which framework should you pick up, how to get started, and much more. Now, talking about why should you really learn mobile development or take a mobile development in the first place. So just to give you an idea, over 2.5 billion active Android users are there worldwide, with more than 3 billion devices across the globe using Android. Also, an estimated number of 1 billion people use iPhones worldwide. Now, since there are so many users, we can reach out to more and more people and therefore create more impact and even generate more revenue through it. Now, you should not be motivated by the fact of generating more revenue. Initially, you should focus more on creating more impact, and generating more revenue will follow. So basically, to learn mobile development, you have to broadly choose between two techs. The first one being native development and the second one being hybrid development. So to give you an idea about both of them, in native development, we build apps that are native to the platform we are developing for, as the name suggests. For example, if we develop an app for Android, we don't really expect it to run on any other platform like iOS, and vice versa. If we build an application for iOS platform, we don't expect it to run on Android or behave like an web app. Meanwhile, in hybrid development, we use frameworks that can build apps for multiple platforms from a single code base. Now, to start off with and give you an example, one of the top 10 games of all time, that is Pokemon Go, is actually built on native frameworks. And the really famous app, that is Google Pay, is actually built on hybrid frameworks. Now, both of them have their own sets of pros and cons. Now, let's have a more deeper insight into both of them, and I'll be going with the native development part. So I'm the fastest and the most powerful too. You will never be able to beat me.
Wait, can you run on multiple platforms? Of course not. I have a single code base for one and everything.
Say what? I have so much more functionality and attractive UI, and the high quality graphics, just mind blowing.
Who cares? People want time saving and cost effective technologies, and that is, yeah, you guessed it right, cross platform development.
So what's the really point if you have to sacrifice security for that? Also, I got higher compatibility with other apps on the device.
I can bet hybrid development will be the future, all due to the one for all build feature and the great flexibility.
Okay, hold on. Now, why are we even debating? We are two different faces of the same coin. Now, we have given you insights for both of them, and according to you, your likings, you should decide which one to pick up. So before starting with the actual roadmap part, we will discuss some prerequisites that are required for you to start mobile development, native development as well as hybrid development. So you should have some basic programming knowledge. So if you already know one of the programming languages like JavaScript or C++ or Java, then it will be easier for you. Now, if you don't have any programming experience, then don't worry. You should first learn Java or C++ as your first language, and then switch to Dart or Kotlin or Swift or C#. Now, why are we saying about switching to Dart, Kotlin, or Swift? Now, Dart is used in Flutter framework for hybrid development, and Kotlin and Java are used in Android native development, and Swift and C# are used in iOS native development. So now that you have an idea about native and hybrid development, we will discuss in detail about them separately. We'll first start with the native part, for which you can either learn Kotlin or Java, but we suggest you go with Kotlin. Now, why should you really go with Kotlin? So Kotlin was announced as an official Android development language at Google I/O in May 2017. Now, Google I/O is a really big event held each year by Google, and they discuss about the new technologies and the new upgrades in the existing technologies. Also, Kotlin application deployment is faster to compile, lightweight, and prevents application from increasing in size. Now, its counterparts like hybrid development are built for many platforms, so therefore they can have a huge file size compared to Kotlin. Also, Java, for example, the third point, any chunk of code written in Kotlin is much smaller compared to Java. So as you deep dive into development, you will come to know that in Java, we have to set up some getter and setter garbage, which is not at all required in Kotlin, which makes it really smaller and easier to read. Now, here are some apps that are made using Kotlin. So you might have heard about Uber, Pinterest, Postmates, Coursera, Evernote, and you might have used many of them. Now, here we have not listed all of them, but behind the scenes, more and more companies are actually shifting to Kotlin code bases and investing millions for this purpose. The famous game I talked about, Pokemon Go, is actually also made on Kotlin. Now, for getting started with Kotlin, you can read the Kotlin documentation, which is like a document prepared by the Kotlin team, which will provide you solutions for everything, and like it will teach you anything. Also, if you go onto YouTube and search for beginner tutorials for Kotlin, you must not give more than 2 to 3 weeks to it, right? Give special emphasis on the word at most. You should not give more than that time. Now, here are some YouTube channels that I would like to recommend to you. The first one being Android Developers. Now, this is the official channel of Google developers, where they come and teach about the new skills and different skills. They also teach about the MAD skills. The MAD skills are modern Android development skills. The second channel is Rahul Pandey. Now, Rahul Pandey is actually the Android lead at Facebook. He's also a professor at Stanford of CS. Now, even if you are not into mobile development, you should definitely follow this guy. He really talks some really awesome stuff about software development in general. Now, third one is Philip Lechner. Now, he's a really famous person in the Kotlin community, and you should definitely follow him if you are thinking of going into Kotlin development. Now, this is a course that I would like to recommend to you, and it is by the official Google team. It is free of cost, and it consists of code labs. Now, it will, if you are good into reading, it will really excite you to read all the codes and stuff, and it will also give you some project ideas. Now, for the hybrid development part, I would like to call upon Bharat Sharma, who will tell you more detail about it. Bharat, over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Akshay. So, hello guys, I'm Bharat. I'm the co-lead at DSC NITA, and I'll be discussing the hybrid development part. So, for this session, we'll move forward with the Flutter framework. However, there are various frameworks available for cross-platform development, that is Xamarin, React Native, Flutter. Since we are a GDSC, so we'll discuss Google Tech here, and also there are other reasons. Using Flutter, you can natively compile applications for various platforms. You name it, and it is already compilable. iOS, Android, web, Linux, Mac OS, and now even the support is coming for the embedded devices. And the increasing demand of Flutter developers day by day is also shifting focus of the community there. It is easier to learn and use as compared to other frameworks. There are various other low-level implementations that increase its performance, reduce the app size, and much more. And these are all the reasons that you should go with Flutter. So, there are various companies, big companies that are using Flutter in 2021. eBay, Reflectly, Google Ads, even the GPay app is in Flutter. Now BMW has moved its car app to the Flutter, and Toyota is working on embedded devices with Flutter. So to get started with Flutter, you'll need at most 2 to 3 weeks. Yeah, only 2 to 3 weeks, and you can build your app within one go. So I would suggest some resources. There's a YouTube channel named MTech Viral, now Codepur, by Mr. Pavan Kumar. He's a famous personality in the Flutter community. You can refer his tutorials for getting started with Flutter. Another thing is Flutter documentation, official Flutter documentation by the Flutter team. It's one of the best documentations you'll ever find for a tech stack or for a framework. It's really great, guys. And another course is Angela Yu's London App Brewery Flutter course on Udemy. It's really great for starting with Flutter. And these all will take just 2 to 3 weeks. Another great series to watch and to learn Flutter is watching the Widget of the Week series by the official Flutter team on their YouTube channel. You'll get a hold of various widgets or various design principles that you can use in your app, and that will effectively improve the performance and efficiency of your app. And another series is also there, the Boring Flutter Development Show. It's great for debugging the code. If you get stuck, you will get to know from the Google team itself how they debug the code, how they get to the solution of a problem and everything. So do watch it. So now there are various other resources like articles on Medium, the Medium publications, the official Flutter Medium publications, and another is Flutter community publication. You will find some great knowledge-worthy articles there. And there are some GitHub repositories also which contain some sample apps, some design patterns, some Flutter example apps. You can refer to these. We'll provide all the links in the description of the video. And you can also use Stack Overflow. You can follow Remy Rousselet there. He's again one of the famous personalities in Flutter. He has developed various famous packages that are Flutter favorite packages. And now come some YouTube channels which you can refer to. There is official Flutter channel, as I said. Then it is Flutterway. Then it is MTech Viral, now Codepur by Pavan Kumar. Then it is Rezo Coder. And on the way, you will find many more such channels.
So thank you so much, Bharat, for giving us some awesome insight into hybrid development. Now we have come to the part where we will share some tips for you to get started and go in the right direction while doing mobile development. So the first tip is build something of your own. It is really important to build something of your own. The second tip and a really important tip is don't get stuck on tutorials. Many people also call this as tutorial hell. So what happens is you start watching the beginner tutorials and you are stuck in it. You are just not coding, just seeing the tutorials and that's it. The second point is start making your own projects. Now, similar thing, guys. If you just are watching videos and not actually coding, you are not learning anything. Now, if I tell you to actually implement something, you won't be able to do it. And first try to implement yourself. If you don't understand how to implement something, search about it, but first try it yourself. And you can only learn if you try to make a project on your own. So now we'll discuss about some mistakes that you should avoid as a mobile developer. And in general, these mistakes are actually for everyone who is into development field. So mistake number one is rushing. So what happens is many developers, when they start learning different technologies, what they think is that, okay, within 2 or 3 months, I should be able to build Google or Facebook easily. No, guys, it doesn't work like that. It is a long process and it will slowly come to you. And don't get bored. It's a really awesome thing to do and be consistent with it. So mistake number two is sitting and waiting for unique project ideas to come. So again, the same thing, guys. If you are just sitting and waiting and not actually coding and just waiting for unique project ideas to come, it won't work that way. You will just think that you are learning, and this is also called as pseudo learning. You won't actually learn anything. So mistake number three is not trying to debug the code by yourself. Now, if you are stuck and after spending a reasonable time, the issue is still not resolved, then resort for help from peers. But before, try to solve it by yourself by actually going to sites like Stack Overflow or searching Google in general. So what happens is this developer community is really, really big. So there's a high chance that if you're facing an issue, that issue might have already been faced by an experienced developer and he might have given a solution for the same. So first try to solve anything by yourself. So mistake number 4 is not trying to learn new things once you get comfortable with the tools you are already using. So you and I did this mistake. So what happened was for 2-3 months, I learned the basic of Android development. I was stuck in just practicing with it. I was not actually learning some new things like databases and stuff. So this actually hinders your growth as a software developer. So mistake number 5 is getting overwhelmed by different frameworks and tech stacks. So stick to one and get a hold of it. So one mistake you can do is like start learning Java and Kotlin both together for mobile development. And even a bigger mistake, like learning native and hybrid development at the same time. So if you really want to learn all of the tech, do it one by one. First, try to get a hold of one thing and then try to shift to another tech stack. So this is a really important thing to keep in mind while building your own app. So don't try to include every feature in the starting. So first try to build a MVP, that is a minimum viable product. So what that means is include all the basics you want to and leave the features that can be added in the future as an update. So in the initial stages, pay less attention to UI. However, in the later stages, pay a great detail to UI and UX, as that is the element of your app that attracts the users. So here's a diagram that you might consider. So we don't want to actually start our development like this, like making it completely functional and then paying a great detail. So we need to cover the application design like this, like pay a more detail to functional designing and then a less detail to emotional designing. And in the later parts, pay a great detail to this. For an example, you can take, if you are building a notes app. So first, if you try to think like that, okay, I will add everything in it. I will add a rich text box. I will add a drawing feature. I will add the collaborative feature. So guys, it won't work that way. First, you have to try and build like a simple note-taking app that can just take notes. Now, if you go around like the first thing I discussed, so that is basically rushing too much and you might lose interest in development because it is like too hard for you. It will become too hard for you and it will finally go to your GitHub garbage and won't be of much use to you. So thank you guys. This was it from the from the mobile development team. And thank you to Mayur Agrawal and Mayur for helping out with this presentation. And I really hope that you go really great in this. Thank you so much, guys.
Okay, thank you, mobile development team and all the teams that presented today. I'm sure your hard work is going to motivate somebody to embark on this developmental journey soon enough. So I thank everybody who joined us today, and DSC NITA has planned some really big things, so please look forward to it. And shortly enough, we are going to mail you with a feedback form. So please take time out of your day to fill it, and have a nice day, everyone. Thanks for joining again.